We want every side to come together to attempt to take down the 100 side.
Man, they gotta
We want
understand,
all the
Wack.
smoke.
We go off the content.
Three, two, one. Hey there, welcome back to the channel where we keep it real. No capping. I'm your host, bringing you nothing but straight fire and authenticity. Today, we're diving into 12 rooms that I got to promote. The 100 ENT showroom, hosted by Big Wack100. The Beehive room. Love and R&B room, hosted by the queen of the 100 side, R&B. No room for the weak. No mercy room. Spin the block room. 100 ENT Jailbreak Squad room. 100 ENT South room. Petty Betty and Toxic Tanya room. Dangerous Minds room, hosted by Beast. Good Burger, hosted by Pitbull. Sleepless in LA, and many more. If you want to get closer or you want to be a part of the show, go to Clubhouse, follow one of these rooms, or you look for a room titled with Wack100. These particular videos all made possible by the one and only Wack100. Get ready to vibe with me as we explore the hardest topics that need some real recognition in the streets. Let's jump right into it and show some love to this channel by hitting the like and or subscribe button. So, without further ado, hold it down. One mic on Wack.
You know, he smiled a lot, but you're gonna pay attention to him because he a big body and that look in his eye. Them looks in our eyes when we've been through certain shit, that shit we just can't get rid of. Like you can try to get rid of it. A normal motherfucker ain't gonna notice it. People that come from something is gonna know, okay, yeah, he one of them. You just know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm telling them, I'm like, nigga, it's never a time where I'm not focused on what the fuck is going on around us. Bullshit. I think all kind of shit going on. They think I be tripping.
Facts.
Hey, it been situations, boy, where I'm like, out of nowhere, I just, hey, listen, let's roll. They like, what's wrong with this nigga? And we get away from the scene and sit back and look,
Yeah.
and 15 police cars hit.
Oh,
I
you don't
just
remember the time we was in the show and the police surrounded us? We was all fucked up. We had a bunch of shit.
You talk about the rolling loud shit.
Yeah. Yo,
And I told the
jumped
dude,
into action real fast.
hey, homie, did you grab the drive for the show?
Yeah.
No, hold on, let me get, hey man, y'all come with me, come grab this shit. I can't carry this shit.
Right.
Wack, what's going on? We got to get up out of here. They finna move on us. Man, you tripping shit. Okay, we got up out of there. It wasn't 15 seconds. Them niggas came on horseback,
Horses,
foot,
everything.
everything. I said, yeah, I told you, nigga. I seen the nigga. The nigga was looking at us too weird.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We down the street, boy. They looking for us. And boy, we nigga had all.
And they got the whole
shit.
team up out of there.
Got everybody up out of there. Nobody went to jail.
Yeah.
Sat back and watched them from down the street.
Yeah.
Shit, you know, I get so spooky, I leave everything down the street, jumping some other shit. I'll order some other cars. We come back, get these later.
That nigga left that shit and booked Thailand rolling loud like the next week or something.
We out of here.
That shit was crazy.
All right, nigga. They just, when we was telling that story, we talking about this wild Melly shit. We sitting there listening to this shit.
That's crazy. All right, y'all.
All right, for sure. Yeah, I mean, first of all, Prince, you know the biggest mistake he made is he was the one there doing it. That's the biggest mistake. What either it was that personal. This nigga fucked his broad, and what? Why were you the one? Why were you even there?
So,
you get what I'm saying? That's the biggest. My nigga, you already at the studio. Man, I'm finna roll this way, man. Y'all such and such, such and such. You know what I'm saying? Why are you there?
Yeah, they saying it was something to do with the mama. Like they found some shit in old boy phone with the mama. You know, like either he fucked the mama or had some shit going on with the mother. They had some. So basically, he either cracked his shit whack and broke his whole teeth out. Either that story is true or it's not true. But the streets is basically saying that nigga basically broke Melly's whole grill and busted his whole teeth out his mouth over that shit.
Prince, wasn't one of his friends fucking his mother? Allegedly.
That's what I was talking about. The sack chasing nigga. That's the nigga in the front seat.
Right.
And then
So,
when they pull the sack chaser phone shit, they see all of the conversations back and forth between the two, Melly mom back and forth between the two. So that's a quote unquote theory. I don't fucking know, but
because they had another quote unquote allegedly theory that he was being extorted by two of two of them. I don't know names.
so that's that theory kind of goes in line, Doja, with if you watch the video, you put the picture up of the
Of the
two cars,
cars.
right?
Yeah, I've
If you
seen
watch the video, you see that there's a statue on Melly. There's a statue on, I think it was Juvie, I think, right? Like the crossbody bags. You see that? So those crossbody bags are never recovered, right? So Bortland doesn't show up to the hospital with those bags. Those bags are not in evidence. They weren't recovered at the hospital by the police at all. So allegedly, those bags contain whatever they contain, but they're gone, right? So that's where the whole quote unquote um extortion theory comes in, because allegedly that's when they kind of got paid a couple 100,000 whoop de whoop
right.
that
And then
day, and
they
then
wanted
right, and then
more.
yeah, we're talking about motives for the killing, the state's theories, why they think, with combined with some of the shit that you kind of heard, right? So this ain't coming from my mouth, right? Um, what else did you hear, Doja? So you got that one, the extortion one,
Yeah.
and that's because the whole makeup of the label, right? They pulled the manager's records, financial records. He had what, 20, 30 million in the bank,
Yeah.
but Melly was asking him for like $1,000 at a time. Yo, I need 1,000 for this, need 1,000 for that. You guys caught that whole thing. So at no point did Melly have millions in the bank somewhere where he could just act, do what the fuck he want. They were living in a trap house, where they were at. You see the cars they was driving, they were all living in the same spot, right? So it wasn't like them niggas is in a mansion somewhere in the hills in Florida, living it up, eating
You
caviar,
could
fucking bad
tell
bitches.
by the cars
Yeah, that
that they
wasn't that wasn't their lifestyle. So don't think that because Melly had that big ass song that he literally had millions. Literally, from the phone records and the conversations back and forth between the mother, he needed a pistol, all of that shit, needed money for shit. Like niggas literally was hitting old boy up like, cash at me 100, cash at me 500, cash at me whoop de whoop, right? Just to put context on it. So it's not like these niggas is like making hundreds of thousands of niggas is, you know what I mean? They wasn't even on that type of time. And everything was in his mom name. Good point, Vaughn. Phone in the mom name. No cars in their name. The cars are rented in the manager's name, right? So it's not like nigga basically ain't own shit, right? I don't know what kind of contract that nigga had, but it is what it is.
I think that's another reason why she got part of that immunity too, because she's in between that, the alleged tampering, then you maybe or maybe not smash and you kid friend. That's a lot, and then you got money thrown in it. It's all a bad combination.
Yeah, and you got the let me try and think of what else is like kind of parented. Um, let's see, you got the 4K track nigga, right? So he's the one that gave up Melly's phone. So the phone in question, so we're not gonna say Melly did anything, right? We're gonna say that he was in that car in that rear back seat and his phone was there too. At some point, that phone ends up in the hands of the people, the Babylon, the DA, right? So up to that point that phone is given to that person, all they kind of know is what? Theory, right? They can't match anything until that phone is handed over. They do the Cell Bright, Cell Hawk phone data download. They get all the actual location data, and they see that phone was traveling with the Cody's. I mean, not the Cody, with the defendants in the car, all of that shit, right? So they kind of just put that together, and then they have to answer one question: who phone is it, right? So now we know whose phone is it because they gave you all of that fucking evidence in the trial to whose phone it was. All the pictures, all the fucking
Right.
messages, right? So now we know whose phone it is. We don't have to argue that. It's old boy's phone, So now old boy's phone is now, let's backtrack. Old boy's phone is in the car at the studio, traveling with the victims. And then at some point, old boy's phone is not traveling with the victims anymore. At that point, old boy's phone is then traveling with somebody else's phone and accesses Wi-Fi at somebody else's house. Just the phone, not the person, right? So
Right.
now,
So,
if
so
we
what?
all have a meetup later at that person's quote unquote Wi-Fi's house, you can kind of now see if somebody asks you, hey, who was at that house? And you say that person, quote unquote, with that phone was at that house. To a detective, they're like, ta-da! How many people can we get that was in that house to verify that you were at that house? So when you make a statement, you don't know why you're making a statement when they say who was at that house. You have no fucking clue. But those detectives knew every time y'all made that statement from that fucking house, every time y'all said, oh boy was there and y'all verified it, they said what? His phone was there. That means he was there. Thank you for telling me that. Anybody not understand that part? Simple math.
They
So
even
now
want to
you
know
got
as far as the clothing, remember? They asked everybody in that house what he wore because apparently the outfits got switched in the mist.
Mhm. And that's where the phone conversation with the girlfriend is kind of the key here, because that verifies that you were where, Doja.
You were where you see?
You were at the drop off point,
Yep.
right? The point where, so we have the victim's phones and your phone traveling together, right? The whole night. We got the studio, we got the on camera. We see where you're making all the calls back and forth, right? We geofence the area. We know that there was no other phones in the area but you guys. So quote unquote no drive by. All them niggas ain't have phones, either one, right? And then at some point, we see your phone separate from the victim's phones. And we don't see that happen again until they're actually at the hospital. So at some point, the separation happens. You make a phone call. That's how they know where you're technically at. They don't know where you're at technically until you make that phone call to quote unquote your girlfriend. And now they know that FaceTime call happened. Now they can get geolocation data on that call because you access the tower.
Yeah, because they allegedly said that his story is kind of matching the tracking of the phone. They're even saying as far as the running, I guess maybe it shows how fast you're moving, but they're claiming most of what he said, not all, but most allegedly, as far as that phone. But like you said, it got switched at some point. He had to separate.
And now, how does that phone get into the hands of law enforcement, right? You're not the
Exactly.
target of the investigation. You're using your phone. You're just chilling, right? You're not even tripping. At some point, that phone goes from the mother to the manager. The manager goes to meet with the prosecutor and hands that phone over. Huh?
And
I
can you
say that
hand
again.
somebody else's property over like that?
It's a property of who, by the way? Whose phone is it technically?
Exactly. That's why I
Who's
asked. Like,
now you
you
got
might
see
be
now
having
that's why,
somebody else's shit. Where you
right.
come
So the phone is in whose name means that person owns the phone.
from? Exactly. And
So
she's
now who
gone.
can give so right. And now when they wanted the mom's phone, that's when they snatched it out of her hand. Remember that?
Right.
Right. That's when the detective kind of broke her wrist and she sued the detective, all of that
Yeah.
bullshit. Right? Because now, guess what they have now? They have the mom's phone. Now they got Melly's phone. But why do they have Melly's phone? Because the manager gave it to them. He didn't give him his phone, he gave him Melly's phone. Hmm. Okay. We ain't tripping on that.
So was his main phone his mom phone then?
His mom basically bought him the phone. Like it's under her account.
Oh, okay.
Simple nigga shit, right?
Yeah.
Like it's his phone, but his mom's paying the bill.
Right.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
Rich.
But at some point, that was given from his mom to the manager. You see my point?
Yeah.
And if you know what's going on, because you a street nigga, right? That phone is given up. Like, how was that phone given up at any point?
No, that's a fact.
Because if there was two, there's only one.
Yeah, it had to be two.
Let me go back into my dingy circle, in my high circle.
And don't forget, if everybody accesses Wi-Fi in a house, that's kind of how they know you're all kind of in the same house. Now, if you guys all make a phone call from that house, they can't say you're in the house. They can say you're in the what? General area of that house, which is almost the same thing, but not the same thing in the court of law. One, for you to access that Wi-Fi gateway, you have to be within signal of that gateway. Depending on your signal strength at the time, we can determine your proximity to what? The router. So any normal person can say you were at that house. So if I got 5 people telling me that access that router, telling me that oh boy was at that house, guess where oh boy was at? That house. Let's do the math, y'all. How did he get to that house? He's on camera at the studio, right? How did you get from the studio to that house? And then we see you later on that day at a video shoot with the same phone, by the way. So that's where it kind of gets into the to the weeds of it. You had the same phone on you later on at the video shoot. So at no point was that phone ever given up. So think about that, guys. You can't say that the phone somehow wasn't yours when it's on you a day later at the video shoot.
He didn't even get rid of the phone. He
Ain't get rid of the phone. And then the phone gets turned over to the mom, who turns over to the manager, who takes it to the prosecutor.
Oh shit.
Oh shit, for real, for real. You ready for the exposed episode on that? Let me know.
Nothing.
Hey, 4K one.
Now.
You visa program, by the way.
Who?
Another one.
Who got the UVs on them?
You know what? We exposed. We gonna have to wait and get to work.
Oh shit.
Nobody yet.
And the girl, well, she ain't did nothing. She wasn't in the car. They can't really do nothing to her. But if they get her to say she ran because they told her to or some shit, this thing ain't gonna look good.
Yeah, they got her on witness tampering for some reason.
Her?
Yeah, they got her. They got the mom. Melly's mom got immunity. I don't know if you know that or not. For witness tampering. Yeah, she got field immunity too.
She working with the DA?
100%. Listen, this shit nasty. The mom got field immunity. Witness tampering. It's a whole lot of back and forth.
What did the mama give the DA on her son?
She was allegedly smashing one of the sons.
That's how the phone gets in the hand. That's how the phone gets into the hands of the manager. It gets in the hands of the prosecutor. Is the phone is turned over to the mom, and the mom gives it to the manager. And then the mom goes into a deposition, and the cops snatch her phone. And then later on give her immunity. How the fuck that work out? Because the witness tampering in the beginning, Wack, can't be at the end, right? We got different.
But they ain't giving no motherfucking immunity for no phone, bro. Something else going on.
That's where that whole That whole prosecution shit with the back and forth with the sex shit with the, like you said, the victim, that first victim had to do something, right? He the object of the threat.
Yeah,
He's sleeping. He got hit the worst, right?
now I remember like when dude was finna go to trial,
Right.
one of the victims' fathers,
That's juvie.
we had a clip.
Right.
Was one of these niggas like signed to Melly or something? I remember he was screaming about something.
He was talking about some type of money that they was owed because Melly wasn't like it was all of them was YNW, right? It wasn't just Melly. They was
Hmm.
all part of a group, and they're supposed to get like 200,000 or something like that bonus, and it's supposed to be delivered out to everybody that day. So that was the theory we went over today. Was one of the theories was that they got that money that day, and they got smoked for it. That was one of the theories
What you mean they got it? They sent it to Melly or something?
because the statue that they all had statues on them, right? Like them big statues, not regular crossbody bags that carry the blicky and like the big ones, right? Like the ones like purses, right? A couple of them had those on them. Those were never recovered. Allegedly, that's what the studio meter was about. Every bag is basically gone. Not at the hospital, not in evidence, not recovered at all. So whoever fucking dipped out took those fucking bags, and it wasn't the Cody because he showed up at the hospital with the bodies. So if you believe that they
But
got
if
killed
that
for the
money come
bread,
from a label,
yeah, talk to me.
they not gonna pay them in cash. They really like how did they? I don't. Did Melly like say I'm finna? Did he pay him out at the studio? Like what? What?
That's the that's
That would
what
be the only
knowing you
way
is
that would
different.
work, because the label would, yeah, because they would have to have send it to Melly. Maybe he paid them out in cash because they not paying in cash.
Yeah, they're not gonna pay in cash.
By the label,
That-
we mean by label we mean that manager, the 4K track nigga. That's what we're talking about.
So
So
that means.
we're not really saying like a real label. You know what I mean?
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? Like that nigga, that's the same. That's the same. Think about it, Wack. That's the same manager. That's King Von manager, who quote unquote allegedly was popping guns that night at the spot. Got hit up. He the one hiding behind the car in the car when they saying we seen you shoot. We ran out work in the room for the week too. So he involved in all this shit. Sometimes you know what I mean. So is he a street nigga? Is he whoop? Is he whatever? And he doing mad interviews online about situations, shit that happened the night of, talking a lot, you know what I mean? A lot of information. So at the time, niggas was like, okay, but when the trial happened, we ain't know none of this shit. So niggas went back to the interview, like, bro, you telling, bro, at a minimum. So like,
So who's the witness? They say the girlfriend tampered with. They got her on witness tampering, right? Who they say she tampered with? The one they just got coming back from the DR.
see, that's what we don't know. We don't know. That's what That's what they're holding her on. Whack. We don't even know who the hell like that side of it. Who she tampered with. Um, if it was part of the mom's, if it was part of the mom's thing, then maybe it's part of the whole. Like even though she's the witness, have you ever seen that where she gets charged too? I don't know. I gotta look that up. 'Cause I don't see who she would really be tampering with. Trying to think who's other than the-
I'm sorry, Prince, but I have a question. This
Go ahead,
thing.
Tim.
I'm trying to figure out like how are they still locking people up in connection to a murder that they don't even have enough evidence to prosecute him or press any charges on him on.
They got enough murder. He's already charged as Presley. He already been prosecuted once.
But I'm saying like with this whole like it was a mistrial and some more shit. Now he's just sitting in there like for it's been 5 years at this point. 10 days been passed. The judge told the sheriffs that they had to go ahead and provide evidence or they had to
Oh,
let
they
him
didn't
go.
file? They ain't got a trial date
No,
set?
no, I don't. Well, I think
They do now. They do
Prince.
now.
Yeah, now they do. Now they do.
But let
But
me
I'm trying to
answer. Let me
understand.
answer that question. Of yeah. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. Tim.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to figure out like how is it that they're picking up extra people and some more shit, but whole time like this man has been sitting in jail for all these years for some shit that they not even like pressing him about. So I'm trying to figure out how is they
with zero
like are they just
contact
trying
at
to
that.
Like he
Are
ain't
they
seen
trying
him
to
talk to nobody.
are they trying to get like last minute like evidence together? Like is that
Nah, so for her, I remember it now, Wack. So for her, her witness tampering is because she allegedly took a bribe. She allegedly took
what?
bread. Yeah, so that's where her witness tampering charge come from. It's not like she did to any actual witness. She was the witness, and then she disappeared because she took the bread. Excuse me. And
And
that's where the
bread
whole
to
mom.
who?
That's where the manager comes in. That's where the quote unquote. So this is where
This
the
is
tie it in to the
messy.
mom.
This is messy.
It's so much shit. So the mom, quote unquote, is the payout person, right? There's transactions between the mom and the manager for thousands of dollars back and forth, and allegedly that's who basically is paying the other mom and the witness to disappear. So the mom gets hit with the witness tampering charge. Then she basically agrees to testify, gets hit with the immunity. So now she's in the immunity. She didn't testify at the first trial, right? The other mom and the girlfriend, same thing. They tried to hide the girlfriend, sent her to the DR. The mom tries to flee. They hit the mom with the ankle monitor. She gets on the stand. They impeach her back and forth, X, Y, and Z. They now find the daughter coming back into the country. So now you kind of see she has the original witness tampering. Did you or did you not get a payout from oh boy? Who'd you get a payout from? Who'd you get it through? Who? Now they can call the mom to come testify. Did you facilitate said payout from oh boy to you? Did you whoop de whoop de whoop? Now they got the mom. X, Y, and Z. Why did you want your daughter to disappear? Blah 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 blah. You see how they just put it all together. So that was a whole separate thing. Then you got the double capital murder. Then you got the witness tampering on the back end between Cortland, Melly, like 5 or 6 niggas in jail, and the his attorney. That's where you have Cortland, Melly all communicating in coded coded language, using different people's pens to make phone calls back and forth. You have Cortland with the book of the jurors back and forth, all of that stuff in there. You have the lawyer basically letting people on the outside use her pen. The only thing that's important about that is allegedly some street shit happened because of that. So they kind of hold it on to that because you let quote unquote people use your pen and communicate as if you was the lawyer between gang members, somebody got hurt or somebody got shot because of that, X, Y, and Z. And also all the rest of this shit. So that's basically where they got the witness tampering in the beginning to keep Mariah Hamilton off the stand, the payouts. They're all involved in that. The double capital murder against Melly and Cortland. Then they got, which is Melly's the principal, Cortland's not. Then they got the witness tampering charge on Cortland and Melly on the back end with the lawyer facilitating all of the shit from using her pen. Whew, any questions? That was a lot.
No questions. It's just it's weird.
And let me add on something too, Tink. The issue with the jail stuff is, remember I put into the no room for the week chat all the evidence that the jail presented against Melly, right? They had all the violations, which wasn't really his fault, right? But he gets punished because some groupie chick comes to the fucking visitation and flashes her tits. He gets fucking a violation for it, right? It was what it was, but he had like 150 of them shits, right? But remember, you also have all of the witness tampering evidence in there, right? All of the times that certain phone calls are made to different people that using each other's pen, and then you guys, because every inmate has their own pen, right? So they think that if I say, hey, make this phone call for me to old girl, and then have a three-way me in, so that way they don't know I'm making a phone call. It doesn't work that way. They're still going to listen into that call because you use your pen. So although he wasn't the first initiator of the call, because he gave his pen to somebody else to use, it's as if he's using the phone. So when your pen is getting passed around like that, and then they're calling the same number, they're still listening anyway. So the theory of, hey, if I give somebody else my pen and I say, make this call for me and pass me the phone, that doesn't work, right? They're still listening to the call because they track it by your pen number, right? They listen to every call that you made by your pen, Melly, no matter what you did, right? Same thing with the lawyer. right? When she accessed that phone, that's how they know that it's a lawyer, because she puts her pen, it doesn't record, right? So if she gives her pen to somebody on the outside, they call the number, she puts her pen in, and it's a gang member. You see how they say, oh, okay, if your lawyer was on the phone with you at this point in that time, now we're going to go back and recall those calls. That's why they did what? Grabbed her iCloud, grabbed her phone to see if she really made those calls. When they see that she didn't, now they got her dead to rights, right?
Yeah, it's just all weird to me. Like it just seems like they're just trying to hold that man, and it's really like no evidence. So now they're trying to pull in last minute evidence and some more shit. Like it's just fucking weird.
Yeah, the double capital murder thing, we went through that whole trial.
Right,
They didn't have enough to convict him on a double cap because that premeditated all of that stuff, because they didn't find the murder weapon. Um, the, the argument was, could they not go with murder two? Could they get murder two instead of capital murder? A lot of the legal experts said, yeah, murder two will be fine because they don't have to prove all the circumstances. They can convict them on circumstantial evidence. They don't have to have the physical gun or the GSR, right? Just the cell phone data is enough, right? But guess this is what happens because of his actions afterwards, right? With the witness tampering, all of that evidence. There's something called like admission of guilt or admonishment of guilt, something now that they're adding on to the prosecution, right? It's in some of their motions to say, hey, would a non-guilty person, right, have these actions? Would a non-guilty person, right, witness tamper? Would a non-guilty person seek to keep this person off the stand? Would a non-guilty person seek to reach out and pay off jurors, right? So that's where it's these actions are quote unquote still affecting his trial because they're literally going to add it on to and argue for it with his new trial.
right.
Yo, so they didn't charge him and set a trial date already then.
No, he has a new trial date.
Not for the witness tampering part of it, not yet.
Yeah, I mean we ain't talking about that, but it's immediate trial because I remember the judge did say,
It was 10 days.
He definitely got to try to. Let me get it for you.
Yeah, it's like September 10th.
Yeah, something in like October,
Yeah,
September.
2025. Yep,
That
it's
sounded about
this
right.
year.
2025, right?
Yep, it's this year.
Yeah.
That sounded about right, Wack.
And then, Prince, to answer your question for the recent tampering case, it's a pre-trial meeting for December 5th. Or it was a pre-trial meeting on December 5th. Like,
Yeah, and they just had another one. That's the one where they had the show cause for all of the reason to keep him still locked up, and that was the reason to keep him still locked up was the major part was to still witness tampering, right?
right,
That was a major argument for the prosecution was, like I said, would a non-guilty person seek to do all of this? They have the jail calls, all of them, hundreds of them. They have the letters from the Cody back and forth, right? They
right.
have all of that. They have the letters with the fake address with the so it can be returned to the jail and sent to him. They got the gang letters back and forth too, right? And they got the lawyer giving up her pain.
Did he still got to make a decision on keeping that lawyer too, right? And did they get her files that the judge is getting pissed off about because the DA told him that they didn't want to give it up, remember? And he told them, no, they better give it up.
How much are you plugged into that, Doja? Do you know about like that whole investigation with the lawyer and like
Yeah,
everyone that she let use the pen? Like that's why that's a big fucking deal. You know what I'm saying? Like her
yes,
iCloud and her cell
that's
phone
why
is a
I
big deal.
asked. Yeah, the iCloud. He gave them a certain date. They didn't come with it. He gave them one more date and gave them all these threats. They came back, remember, and they said that their upper person claims no. And he told them to tell the upper class, he wanted that basically.
Right.
So now they have a certain date to bring that shit back. My thing is, what if they still don't give it to him?
And not. And here's the reason why, right? We're gonna read between the lines here. This is pure assumption, right? This is pure assumption. This is not Wax saying this shit. They already had her iCloud, right, Doja?
They
They
did
already they
because
already
they broke Apple. Didn't Apple write
right.
her and told her about they asked
They
for it?
told her that they broke into her shit, and Apple sent her an email, and she told the defense, and the defense raised it like, "Yo, why are you basically requesting my quote
Right.
unquote co-counsel's iCloud?" Our defense strategies could be in there, right?
Right.
And the prosecution said, "We don't give a fuck about none of that. Like, we got an active investigation, right?"
Right.
The judge came back and said, "Fuck you, prosecution. Give it up now. Give us the what? The search warrant and the affidavit for the search warrant for probable cause to pull her iCloud and her phone." This is why we have these big ass conversations. They
Because they
never
want
want to
to
give they
escape,
never
right?
want to give up those details. Why do you think they don't want to give that up? Because every person that they're investigating is in that
That paper.
affidavit.
Right.
Also, every snitch that basically, remember, they got 5 jailhouse snitches on this witness tampering case. If you guys didn't hear that, that's a fact, right?
Yeah.
They had
Right.
jailhouse snitches in Melly's cell, basically, that he's giving his pin to. That's how they know all this shit fucking happened. Niggas snitch all fucking day. Um, and that's how they kind of quote knew about Melly trying to get broken out the cell, was because he told it to a jailhouse snitch, and the jailhouse snitch told the cops, and that's how they kind of think the lawyer was involved in breaking them out, sneaking in handcuff keys. Right? It's a lot of shit with that lawyer, right? So now you have witness tampering, quote unquote escape plot, quote unquote street shit happening on the outside that they're using the lawyer's pen for. And then you also have a lot of targets of investigation because they have the lawyer's phone, who we know is dirty as fuck, at least
Right.
immoral. So now
Because
you're
the
the
judge told
prosecution,
them
and
they
the
have to ask.
judge is like, turn over your affidavit, turn over your fucking search warrant. And they're like, you're gonna blow our investigation. And the judge is like, turn over. Judge, you're gonna blow our investigation. That's the prosecution telling you, Doja, that they don't give a fuck about that little what they got right now. They got way bigger shit than right now.
Yeah, exactly.
They
That's
ain't
why I
trying to
was
blow up the big
like,
shit.
what happens if they'll blood? Because he wanted, he want that shit. He was about to curse. He want that shit bad. And then remember on Melly's side, all he wanted to do is explain. You know, he's gonna at some point he's gonna have to figure out if he want that lady or not. And whatever lawyer he got as the guy, he need to keep him because he was on the judge's ass. Every little question, every little thing he said. Well, you trying to say if basically if he goes and get a new team, it's gonna take them. They got 7 months to 8 months to catch up and basically so good luck, or you can keep the people that you have but know that oh girl got an investigation her damn self, and she be in some shit because I didn't seen, I don't know if I was watching Cops or what, but she on that motherfucker. She done called on her own kid. Her kid was going off throwing shit and all cursing her out, all kind. They took the kid to jail. She was like bye. So that judge, I don't know, he do got a lot to think about. But like the judge said, they got you the what mistrial or whatever, hung jury, whatever the fuck. So he got a lot to think about. He said he can keep them now, but he gonna have to figure it out. I think he gave them before August or some shit. Mm-hmm. What you think he gonna do, Prince?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Okay, my
hear
fault.
you now.
I was saying that the original trial, it was when they polled the jury, it was 11 guilty, 1 not guilty for capital murder. It was the one guilty, so the one not guilty convinced two guilties to turn to not guilty. So take that for what you want. You can take it as it was 11-1 guilty, without any of that data, with just the cell
Wait, it
phone
was
and
11-1 guilty?
11-1 guilty, and
Oh
then
shit.
one convinced the other two not guilty. So it ended up being 9-3, but it started out 11-1.
How you know that? The people talked about that? The
Yeah,
jury
the
talked about it?
juries got polled. Yeah, after the trial.
Oh shit.
For the
And now,
interview.
Wack, I'm gonna run that Thursday. You'll be surprised what the jurors are talking about. They're doing interviews now too, so I haven't even like listened to it yet. But like his state of mind, what they do, if he really is crazy or not, all of that shit. Like
I
They
think I'm
do
gonna be
the
these
real.
concept.
little
Hmm?
The way
girls.
he
They
listen, when
do
I
these.
first met that nigga,
Yeah,
we was in Chicago at Cole Bennett had a concert thing. And we was in like some shit in the cut. It was cold, icy, and I ran into the nigga in the hallway. I ain't gonna lie, dude got an evil spirit about him.
like he spaced out, like he not there,
Yeah,
but he there, like but he not there,
yeah,
right? I know
yeah,
what you're talking about.
yeah. It's
Like
like,
but he's smiling a lot, but not smiling a lot.
yeah,
I know what you're
nigga.
talking about. I know what you're talking about.
I said, man, watch that nigga, man. That nigga right there ain't right. And it wasn't too much longer after that shit happened. Yeah.
So what was very curious, if you've been following the trial, the
Nah,
last
I
week
ain't followed this shit. I
they
just been
basically
listening.
my fault, I will cut you off. They basically asked him, "Have you ever been diagnosed with a mental illness?" Right. So we were fucking waiting for him to say bipolar or some shit. He said fucking no.
He probably have it. I mean, he probably
That's
never been
interesting.
diagnosed. He probably have. But I'm telling you, like, dude couldn't be on my tour bus. Uh. It's like it's something going on there. You don't know what. You know what I'm
Prince,
saying?
he has
Yes,
been diagnosed. When he was like in third grade, remember
I
the
know.
fight that they had
I
and they
know.
put him in that room? Yeah.
Hmm. So that's what I was saying. It was so interesting that when they actually asked him, the judge actually asked him that he was
Well, did he
able to get
know?
that
Did
no.
he know he was diagnosed in the third grade? Did he know that? Did his mom and them tell him not to believe that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
you
Because
know,
originally everybody thought he was going to plead the insanity plea off that shit.
nah, dude is I came
Yeah.
from. He a little bitty motherfucker too, but he. I ran into the nigga in the hallway. The nigga was just. It's like when I walked by the nigga was just smiling. He was sitting up against the wall smiling. I'm looking at the nigga.
Rocking back and forth a little bit.
Yeah, the
I
nigga
already know
just
you. Yeah, you
One of
describing.
them
Come on,
evil
Wack.
smiles.
Yeah.
yeah, my nigga, but it was like,
What happened when you shook his hand?
his eye, it was empty though.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah. I know
Like,
what you
A little,
exactly
a
what you
little
mean.
glassy, like he crying.
Gone. He
yeah,
ain't there.
I already
yeah,
know.
yeah. I see, yeah, that nigga right there a little different. Got to watch him.
Even at the court, remember the judge before he started talking about the lawyer? He's like, "Are you okay? Do you know who I am?" Because he was like spaced out. He looked
Yeah,
it spaced out, and he was rocking. He was like, "Yeah." When he talks, it's fine. He talk better than he's looking. It's weird.
In all actuality, when he raps, he's fine. When he's not, it's very noticeable. But you can't tell it from when he's rapping. What's the point?
That's true, 'cause I have a friend that raps. But he stutter like a motherfucker. But when he rap, the stutter's gone. It's weird.
Yeah, somebody put into the chat too. That was woken up in the trial. The fact that there was something going on with him threatening the mom and the daughter, as well as sacking Juvie's mom. Sacking Melly's mom, getting into it back and forth, threatening back and forth, guns out, all of that shit. I ain't no pussy ass boy. Whoop-de-whoop, all of that. I remember them text messages. So there was a lot of shit going on in that whole circle. And
They talk about the extortion,
nah,
allegedly.
when they're saying with the sack chasing the mom shit, right? How he was playing with his mom a little bit.
Oh, you seen
Right.
that
Especially the
video of the
moms.
mom making the video about Sack Chaser Prince?
You want to run it? How long is it? Because like everyone was saying after the shit came out, right? They were saying that that nigga was a piece of shit pedophile, right? Am I not tripping? Like he was one of them type of weird ass niggas. I don't know that nigga. Fuck that nigga. I'm just saying like at the end of the fucking day, all of that shit came out, and then with the whole mom shit, you see all the threatening text messages back and forth, the guns out, all of that shit. Like what the
Yeah,
fuck was going on between
that
them three?
shit was crazy.
Because if we saying that that nigga got
And
smoked first, we know he got smoked first. He the target of the whole shit. He got hit the worst. Temple shot, dome, head blown out, window, all of that. Other nigga defensive wound. He wake up. What the fuck going on? Nigga, shut the fuck up. He got blown down too because he wasn't riding with it, right? So that's the whole theory. You blowing your man's head off like that for nothing. But the relationship with the moms. Let's go back. Look at the relationship with the moms from the text messages that they gave back and forth. You think that's a regular relationship he had with his mom?
allegedly everybody, that knew about it.
What did somebody say before? These project babies. Think about it.
Right.
Look at that relationship. That's too close for me.
She
Your mom buying you Glocks?
just allegedly say it is. You got your mom smashing a homie. You got two homies allegedly extorting you. You're paranoid as fuck, so you automatically see somebody on your, on your neck daily.
And
And then you
allegedly,
got
allegedly, allegedly, that nigga stomped the teeth out your
yeah,
mouth too. Is that a true story or not? Did
No,
Sack
they
Chase
say
break that nigga
he slapped Melly and his grills came out his mouth.
oh, he must have the clip on girl. No girls that pop out.
But like I said, the only thing we got to go off is what? The shit that's in the phones, the emails, the Instagrams, and the phone shit. That's all we saying is these niggas on the phone saying, I'm gonna kill you, pull up, with a gun, I need a gun, whoopty whoop. Fuck that nigga. Like, that's what niggas is saying. Like, yo, what was going on between Sack, the mom, and Melly? And that's what the dad when actually about the dad with the juvie shit. He said that Juvie didn't even really know them other niggas, right? Juvie just came down to do music with Sack. He wasn't really a part of that shit, right? Or some shit like that.
Right.
To where it wasn't even like he was literally an innocent bystander. Like, I'm just coming down to do music for 2 weekends in a row. Either Juvie or the other niggas in the car wasn't even involved in this shit. Niggas was there just to do music.
Yeah, love. This shit finna go crazy. This shit finna go crazy, boy.
yo,
Hey,
yo,
Wack, when you say
yo, did you slap